lockdown China.
Whoa.
We couldn't come back to China, and I was like, wow. I wanted to create 100 businesses minimum. And I felt like China provides the avenue for that through trade, through manufacturing. China is basically like the world's manufacturing hub, the world's factory.
Right.
The new China, what we see today, was built in like, let's just say like within the past 35 years. Like there are still Chinese people who remember China being like, let's say Ghana in their lifetime.
Yeah.
We in our developing countries can also think of creating businesses where we are leveraging on these same resources. But you don't realize that you can create your own brand of even a phone.
Yeah.
You can create your own brand of like literally anything, and that's what China provides. So right now there are so many Chinese people going to Ghana to supply products directly because they realize that everybody's coming here, they are buying these things, they're buying this thing. So they need trade, like they trade, they don't create anything. So let's just bring the things there. More people are realizing that they're made in India, it's made in China.
You know how I feel? I feel like Benjie's attacking me. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Chale Ni Hao. We are in China. We're shooting from China, and it's been amazing. So today we are with a brother, a friend, someone who has lived this China journey, somebody who has stayed here, who has studied here, and who is currently working. And I realized that we've been doing this China thing from the Ghana perspective. So we want to talk to somebody who is here to look at things from the Chinese perspective to Ghana. So my name is Elikem. I'm a D-boy. And we have our guest, Benjie. Benjie, introduce yourself.
Benjie. Thank you for having me. I'm Benjie.
Benjie was my school son in Achimota School. He used to sleep on top of me. So I've known him for a very long time. And I mean, we've maintained the relationship, even though he has been in China, I've been in Ghana. So I'm happy to have him here. And all right, Benjie, let's start from your China journey. When did you first come to China?
So I first came to China in September of 2016.
2016?
Yeah, 2016.
Wow. And why China?
So the story is actually funny. My very good friend, Donald at the time, and his big brother was here in China. So after our WASI, we were trying to figure out uni stuff, where we were going to go. And he suggested, my brother in China, so like, let's go to China. Sorry. And then initially, I actually didn't like the idea, but I was like, because I didn't know anything about China. The only thing I knew was that Melo was here, Philip. So fast forward, we got here, and then like I've loved it ever since. Like since the first day I stepped foot here, I was like,
so
wow.
I mean, your total China journey has been 9 years. Yeah, like about 9 years.
About 9 years now.
You first came. All right, so Benjie, what school did you go to when you first came to China?
So I did my bachelor's in Zhejiang Keji Shuyan. At the time, it's now Zhejiang Keji Dashui.
All right.
I studied, that basically means Zhejiang University of Science and Technology.
I was actually going to ask you. Nobody knows Dashui.
So Zhejiang Keji Dashui, that's Zhejiang University of Science and Technology.
Right.
And I studied computer science for 4 years. But one thing I discovered during my bachelor's was that basically all the teachers and all the lecturers, just like a couple of them were very good in English, but most of them weren't too good in English.
Some of them have zero knowledge in English, but you go and check the thing, they said the course is in English. That same thing happened to me. So it forced you to prioritize Chinese, right?
And then even like during exams, like Chinese exams were crazy. Like we have like 8 invigilators, very tight security, cameras on, everything. But like for the major, it was usually maybe 2 invigilators. So I just decided, I think the most valuable thing I can take from this school is probably Chinese. And so I doubled down on that. First year is compulsory Chinese, so I had to do that. But for the second year, the first semester is compulsory. But from there, you decide to do Chinese or not.
Yeah, okay.
So first year is beginners, second year elementary. So I did beginners, elementary, and advanced one.
Wow.
And then after advanced one, I was like, okay,
That's enough
it's
for
okay.
now.
It's okay for now. And that was it. I mean, basically, that was it for my school time.
Okay, so I mean, I know a little into your journey because I mean you're my friend and everything, but there was a period where you had to come back to Ghana. So tell us about that period. What happened?
That was probably like one of the craziest times of my life, honestly. So it was 2019 December. I went to Ghana for December party, chill stuff, and came back to China in January. I think towards the end of January.
Right.
And that was when I got here and I realized COVID. I was like, wow.
Oh, well, this was during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, this is 2020.
I mean, just before COVID began.
Early January 20.
Right.
Like I mean, early 2020, January like 20 something.
Right.
And most of my friends, my Ghanaian friends, were still here at that time, and so.
When we say here, we are in China, so we're saying
here in China. Most of my friends we're all still here in China. We're all in the same school. And around that time, we had like a very big Ghanaian community, a lot of friends. So anyway, we got here, I got back to China, and because I was like among my friends, I was the one who was more proficient in Chinese. Like I was having a lot of parents calling me, like, what's happening, what's going on, like we hear there's lockdowns, because that's when the lockdown started, and the lockdowns here were crazy. So imagine like this community, right?
Yeah.
Like let's say from this junction to this junction, the whole community was gated, like fenced.
Wow.
And
you're all locked in.
Everywhere was locked, like fully locked. You couldn't, like, if you live in a house of like 4 people, not everyone could go out. Like we're going out, the lockdown was crazy, it was extreme. So there was a little bit of some panic, and during that time everyone, and I was also panicked because like everyone was calling me, parents were calling me. I have to like answer my own parents, also like talk to other people's parents and like try to reassure them that everything was cool. So it got to a point where like it was like, yo, then let's just go to Ghana. So we decided to go to Ghana, and I packed just a duffel bag because I thought we were going to be in Ghana for like 3 weeks. So this was 5th of February 2020. We just went to Ghana thinking we were going to be gone for like a couple of weeks and then come back when everything has settled down, because we thought it was just going to be something small.
Yeah.
At the airport, the Ethiopian Airlines jet, like it was, the whole plane was students. Like from Ghana, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, everyone was just like leaving at that time, and it was very scary. So we got to the airport in Ghana. It was like a link up. Like everybody just did here. We're like, oh, we just come. A lot of them hadn't been back to Ghana for a while, so it was fun.
But there was no travel restriction at that time.
You could leave.
Okay.
And then like just literally 2 weeks after, boom, lockdown, China. Whoa. We couldn't come back to China, and I was like, wow. And we thought, okay, maybe a few months turned to a year turned to 3 years, 4 years. By the time I realized I was stuck in Ghana for 5 years.
Wow.
And that was crazy. That was like a very crazy time because I didn't plan. I was graduating that year. I was graduating in 2020. I had already finished my thesis and everything. So I was just like waiting to do my presentation and then my graduation.
Right.
None of that happened. I had to do my presentation online. And in China, you need to pass the HSK 3 minimum, my university, pass that exam before you could graduate.
Right.
So I had to do all of that like away from here. And that was like a very crazy time. My stuff, everything, I lost so many things because I only took a duffel bag with just like a few clothes.
Wow. I mean, because I know you guys were living very comfortable.
Yeah.
Angelo had a car. And so what happened to all of that?
All of that, like, he lost everything. Like, because, even he had a business. Angelo had a business here. Had to shut down. Basically start over. Everything had to start over. So that was a very crazy period for me. And for everyone who left China.
Yeah.
There's some people who, for me, I feel like I was fortunate because I had finished my thesis, I had done it, I didn't have any retakes, resets, there was nothing too complicated. The only thing I delayed was my HSK, because I thought the school would allow me to come back here to do my HSK exam. But that didn't happen. So I actually...
Which is the HSK?
HSK is Hanyu Shuiping Kaoshi. It's like a Chinese proficiency exam.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you need to have at least level 3 before you can graduate.
Oh, okay.
And for me, I knew it was like something I could just pass easily. So I was delaying it. I delayed it because I was thinking that was my last like lifeline to come back to China.
Right.
So I did my thesis presentation online, passed everything, and I was just left with my HSK. So 2020 passed, I didn't do it. 21 came, I didn't do it. And 2022, I was like, let me just do it and figure out a different way to come back to China. So I registered at the Confucius Institute in Legon, Ghana, and I did it there and I passed. And then I finally got my degree. So 2024, I had to come back to China with all my certificates and stuff to retrieve my degree from the university. Oh. And it was a very hectic, like, bro.
Bureaucratic processes here are so hectic. Like, I can just imagine you going to them, telling them that you graduated in 2020 and now you're coming for your degree.
Exactly.
It's so stressful doing those things.
Bro, I thought it was even going to be like just I come, you have my details.
Right.
I even texted my advisor, everything. I thought it was going to be very swift. I came back, I had to resubmit my thesis. And I was like, wow, if I had deleted the files long, because it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
I had to resubmit my thesis. I had to go like get signed out from my various departments. So it took me like, it was like a 4-day process.
Going back and forth.
And my degree ended up being 2024 instead of 2020.
Wow.
So it was like I graduated in 2024, but I technically graduated in 2020.
Okay, so let's talk about, let me call it the second coming.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the second coming. What brought you here? And yes, let's talk about that second part of your journey, and then we'll go into business.
Yeah. So after, like during my time in Ghana, I was doing some business. I opened a couple of like restaurants, like bars, clubs. Yeah. I was doing some business in Ghana during that period, and on the side, I was also building my product sourcing business, which is something I actually started in 2020 during the COVID period, because there was a huge demand for face masks, COVID, face shields.
Yeah. let's not talk about face shields. That's a very sensitive topic for me.
Face shields was very crazy because I kept went hard on it. I remember it was crazy, but like during that period, when I was living in China, I was doing sourcing, but it was mainly for sneakers. Especially, I was helping people buy sneakers from China, shipping to the US, Europe, and Ghana mostly. But I never really thought about it as a business proper till COVID. And so I thought of starting it in Ghana, working on the business in Ghana.
Right.
But starting from scratch, it was very difficult because I feel like while I was in China, I had leverage. I had my presence in China as the leverage.
Right.
But in Ghana, it shifted. It was good during COVID because China was fully locked down. People couldn't travel here. And so your links in China were still like valuable. It was reasonable leverage.
Yeah.
But now everybody can go.
But right now, it's changed.
Why should I give it to you?
Exactly. Yeah. So that became a problem. So in the early 2020, 2021, 2022, it was cool. And so COVID was still there, lockdown was still like there. So then sourcing business was thriving, to put it lightly, it was thriving.
Right.
So I was doing that for a while. Then in 2023, I decided to just like take a step back from the whole like club business.
Okay, the club thing,
and focus fully on the sourcing thing. And I realized that it had been a very long time since I really focused on this, and my Chinese was gradually coming down. So I went to Confucius Institute in Legon again and signed up for a business Chinese course.
Okay.
Wow.
And to just like reignite my Chinese. So I did that for a while, and then I had an exam there, passed, and then I decided to come back to China to do like a language course for a short while. So I did like an HSK level 4 course now. That's basically like a step up from what I did prior.
And you passed that one too.
Yeah, and I passed.
Right now your Chinese is small.
So I passed not to brag, but like it was crazy because I got the same score I did for my HSK 3, which was 270 over 300 for me. So that was like, okay, I feel like I'm ready now.
Yeah.
And so after I did a course for 4 months. I came in April.
Okay.
I did that, and by July I was done. And I have this very good friend, a Chinese friend, who owns a business in Hangzhou, and he's been very keen on working together with me for some time now. So when I came to China last year for a short like business trip, I visited him. I visited his company. I checked out their products, and I really saw that they were really doing like something very innovative. I feel like it's very innovative and something that will be very valuable to the global markets. I never came across anything like that outside of like.
Let's talk about it.
So yeah. So after seeing him, I was like, okay, I want you to work with me. I want you to work with our company as the international business development manager.
Okay.
So I was like, that's great. So after.
What's the name of the company?
It's called Hangzhou Yaisen Digital Technology Company.
And what do they do?
So I would say it's an energy management company.
Okay.
So the company's business model is basically EMC, which means energy management contracts. So let me just give you a scenario.
Okay.
So let's just say you spend 1,000 cedis on electricity every month. The company has products. They utilize like a variety of technology, high luminosity compared to like the regular bulbs we have. They also, instead of glass, they use like a certain type of aluminum and then plastic. Okay. So there's minimum energy loss to heat, because
right.
Apart from the electrical consumption, like heat also consumes, so all applies. And then they have different types of products. So some of the products also use this technology they call the AI matrix system. That's usually used in like autonomous systems, like underground parking lots, where the lights comes on, immediately it senses like some presence.
Right.
So with the matrix method, the lights come on according to your path. So let's say if you're going in a straight line, the lights
will come on. So it's not all the lights that will come on.
So they utilize various...
Which saves you money, right?
So it utilizes various technologies in one to save electricity. So let's just say you use 1,000 cedis a month in electricity consumption. Using the company's technology, you are able to like save up to 40 to 60% of that amount. So you'll be probably paying like 600 to 400 cedis after using, because you usually don't rate how much electricity consumption actually goes into lighting.
Yeah.
Especially for high lighting areas like industrial spaces, like government buildings or office complexes, because with the nature of the product, it's very effective in industrial and like public places more than like residential.
Right.
It's not really for residential, it's more for like places with high electricity consumption. So how it works is that the company has an app that after the lights have been installed in your space, you're able to check your consumption prior to the installation and your consumption after
the installation.
And so it has a real-time monitoring system, so you can see, let's say Monday, how much you used in terms of money, and then also in terms of energy consumption.
Right.
And you can track it. You see it. The company also sees it. So I feel like this technology is very, like, innovative, very world-changing. And currently, we have over 2,000 active projects in China now. The company was started in 2019. And it now has like 5% market share of China in China.
Okay. What about overseas?
Overseas 0 now, because they just started here. And so the goal for China is to become like #1 in the EMC model. And then internationally we are looking at trade, because the EMC model is very fragile to the extent that like trust is very important, because I have to be able to know that like I can trust you to be very transparent with your spending, your billing.
Yeah. So
and
you basically be seeing all my.
I'll be seeing everything.
Yeah,
And you also be so it's very trust sensitive. So until you've been able to establish that degree of trust, it becomes quite sensitive. But like, you can have an agent overseas who you can trade the products to and say, okay, this is the products we have, this is what it can do. You can establish this in your market, you can establish this in your community and do that. So then you become like an overseas agent. So we currently have, sorry, I said 0, I was wrong. We have agents in Singapore and Canada right now. Okay. And I'm working on Ghana because I feel like we have serious like energy crisis and stuff in Ghana, and I feel like introducing such innovative products is very pivotal, and it can introduce like a big level of change, because besides like saving your like energy consumption, you also make real money, because the EMC module literally translates to money being saved, money made. So
money saved is money made.
Money made, exactly. Because so for the EMC model, let's just say you're now saving 600 CDs. Because we have the shared agreements, you pay back. It's an investment. You don't pay any. There's no upfront cost for us to do the installation. We come and do the evaluation first, and we see how many lights you need. Then we do the installation free. Okay, not free. It's an investment. So we sign a contract, which basically. Explaining to detail how the payment structure is going to be made. So for example, we start by, for the first year, the client takes 30%, the company takes 70% of the profits. Next year, 40-60, the following year, 50-50.
And this is off the money saved, right?
Off the money saved. Okay. So then after the duration of the contract, it's all yours now. Right. So then now you've paid for the lights, the company has made our money, and we are out of the picture, and then now it's all you.
Right.
So that's basically how it works. And another thing is that like, because of the type of technology that we use, the lights last for about 8 to 9 years. And the regular bulbs last up to like maximum like 3 years, because the whole concept of like lighting is that you don't make it last long. I don't know if you've ever seen this theory about after lights were invented, they managed to actually create bulbs that could last years, but then that's bad for business. Yes. So the big lighting companies, basically like there's a rule, there's a rule of thumb that you don't make your lights last for more than 2 years, because you don't make money, because it's like the lights for burn. Yeah. The lights for burn, and then we can make money. So that's basically how it works. So but this works in the opposite way, because how long our money is basically made for as long as the lights last. So if the lights don't last, you're not saving money. Yeah. So that's basically how the EMC model works, and that's how the company's technology works. So
that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. Aside that, so right now we are basically doing that, but you're also doing your sourcing on the side.
Yes.
So let's talk a bit about your sourcing on the side, and then how combined it has been. So what's the sourcing brand called?
So the company is Sino Supply. Mm-hmm. Sino is a term that's basically used.
SINO.
SINO. Okay. Which basically like means from China. Okay. Oh. And I spelled the suppliers like SPLY. So I just like a Gen Z twist to it. Like adds a Gen Z twist to the supply sense. But so in 2023, I stepped back from like the nightlife business to a certain extent, because I wanted to focus fully on.
By nightlife, you mean like you're running?
I was managing a nightclub in Ghana. I helped my cousin open a club in Ghana. In 2022. Okay. And
during COVID.
Like in 2022, 2023, and I opened a bar with my friends in I think 2021. As well, so I was in the nightlife scene for a while. While I was also doing this, but this was like my side gig. Right. But in 2023, I decided to focus on this because I wanted to like focus on something which was more of mine and more in line with like my vision and stuff. Because during that time, I had a a vision which may sound outrageous to a certain extent, but I wanted to create 100 businesses minimum. And I felt like China provides the avenue for that through trade, through manufacturing. China is basically like the world's manufacturing hub, the world's factory, as you would like to call it. So I felt like there were various business models that could be taken advantage of to actually build sustainable and scalable businesses from China. But then the question became the how. How to do it. So after walking away from the nightlife business, like I was not working in a sense for like, let's say 3 to 4 months. So I was now basically starting from zero to make this work. So I was trying to find like sustainable methods that could be scalable. And then a lot of like digging into the internet, and like I decided to go with a drop shipping module. So initially the business was solely sourcing products, and basically people have their requests, help them buy from China. But from 2023, 2024, I felt like the whole sourcing thing was beginning to get very saturated and also diluted. And the value sense was like it wasn't really valuable. It was more like it was looking more like a gig than a business. It's not sustainable and scalable. But I wanted to build something scalable and sustainable. So I kept doing the sourcing, but I wanted to like come up with a module that would be more scalable and sustainable. So it was initially Box With Us. I partnered with a couple of friends to start Box With Us, but they also went their own ways, and it was just me from Sino Supply. It was just me trying to figure this out. So I realized I could actually create like drop shipping sites, which would be basically connect products directly from Chinese suppliers. People place their orders, and then it's shipped to Ghana within like a certain duration. But then there were several challenges because this module works.
We know.
This module works perfectly for people in Europe and America because shipping from China to America is incredibly cheap. I mean, before Trump started, but it was incredibly cheap. And I know a lot of like Europeans and Americans building sustainable businesses using this business model, selling on Amazon, using this business model, and it's working. And it's scalable because you start from a point where you are drop shipping, then now you start stocking up products because you probably drop ship a variety of products, and then you pick the one that's working for you, you stock up. So that was the idea, that was the line of thinking. But then I realized that, bro, nobody is. And then in shipping from China to Ghana, doesn't only take long, it's also very expensive, especially if you want to ship by air. Very expensive. And so then it almost becomes counterintuitive for the buyer, because then it's like, if I'm going to spend this much on this, then why don't I just buy it here? And then also the familiarity with e-commerce in Ghana is also another problem, because people buy things when they need them. So like if someone is buying something right now, they see it on your store, they're trying to get it today or tomorrow. And so then e-commerce dropshipping becomes like a problem, because then if I have to wait 3 days, like even me personally, like I was used to buying things online when I was living in China, but then I realized that when I got to Ghana,
you buy it that day.
I buy that day.
Bring us that minute.
I want it that day. Like I won't go to. Like I want the share. Like I want you to deliver to me. And that's how it usually works. I feel like for the average Ghanaian, that's the Facebook marketplace, the WhatsApp business or Snapchat business like works on this same. I pay you. I need it today because. And so
I paid you now, I want it now.
Exactly. So then it defeats the whole drop shipping idea. So then I had to just double down on the sourcing and just make it work and then figure out a different way after. So that's basically how it's been for like till now. My biggest sourcing gig that made me realize that okay, let me just double down on this was there was this big event in Ghana by an American artist. I don't think I'm allowed to mention the name on here, so just say, but they ordered like this very enormous like bouncy castle. They wanted this as like in the form of a ship.
Wow.
Like a real life ship. So it was huge. Like it was very huge. Very, very big. And I had a friend who was also doing sourcing, and I think he had been in talks with them for a while to get a product for them, but I think he probably wasn't getting it. So it was close to the deadline of the event, and then they reached out to me. Within 3 days, I was able to get like a number of quotes from different manufacturers, and then we settled on one. We got the ship made, but then because of how late it was for them to deliver the product to me, the ship was done like, let's say, 5 days to the show.
Wow.
And they needed it in Ghana like urgently still. And then I was like, bro, we know like we can't ship this by air. And I was like, no, we can't. Just find out if we even charter a jet, we'll do it. And I was like, wow. And so for the first time in my life, I found myself talking to private jet companies, trying to get quotes, and I felt like, wow,
this thing is actually big.
Like I feel like depending on how you actually work on it and how you go towards it, you realize that like there are different layers. Like there are different layers beyond like just like Chale, buy this thing, give me. There are different layers beyond that, and even though we didn't go with the jets because the Ghana side, the client was willing, but the Ghana side was long because it was still, right after COVID and things. So everything was a bit distant, but we got a quote. It was they could pick up the thing from China, have it in Ghana before the date of the event.
Wow.
The client was willing to take the quotes and everything in long. So then we had to now ship it to the US for the client. And so I was coordinating all of this thing while being in Ghana. So it just made me realize that
there's an opportunity.
I can actually double down on this and make this a very sustainable thing. So this is why I decided to like double down on this trading business module and stuff like that. But I'm at a point where right now I feel like we need to move it to another level again because now it's saturated.
Let me ask you, what has China taught you about business?
Wow, a lot. So I think it was in the early. I'm a bit of like a history buff. Like all of this has like some historic this thing to go with it. And so let me break it down. I don't want to talk too much, but let me break it down from there. So I think it was about in the 1970s when China opened up to the West. China was always locked down and really closed. And the new China, what we see today, was built in like, let's just say like within the past 35 years. Like there are still Chinese people who remember like China being like, let's say Ghana in their lifetime.
Yeah.
They saw China being like Sparta, to what it is right now, the world's second largest economy. Yeah. And that was the first thing that inspired me. That like, if China could do this, like it means there's hope for Ghana, there's hope for Africa. Like we can do it. Yeah. Right. But it all starts from the mindset. Yeah. So during this era when China opened up, they had like a policy where they sent a bunch of Chinese people out of China to go to Europe and America to learn. Oh. And so that was like a period where they were learning a lot. They went there, learned architecture, learned engineering, learned manufacturing, like everything. Wow. Learned how to create, how to build.
Right.
And then after a period of time, you were supposed to come back and then we implement this thing here. So we have like cities in China that look like cities in Europe, cities in like, there's even like a version of the Eiffel Tower in Hangzhou.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So like they have like, that's how crazy it was. And then they translated this thing into like business. So they have a very huge population. America was moving from an industrialist economy to a more like capitalist economy where people were, it was more becoming focused on services rather than manufacturing. And they were shipping their manufacturing to China, to Asia. And so what do these Chinese people do? Like they create these things, they realize that, okay, now we can do it. Like maybe you are doing iPhone, Pinguo, Shoji. I know what you're doing. I can implement it and do my own thing. And then now we have like various
they started
brands.
by copying.
Exactly, and they started copying. But I feel like every society had their way to get there.
Yes.
Like the West was through imperialism and through slavery. It's not justifiable. It's not morally right.
But that's the way.
It helped. Like it contributed to where they are now.
Yeah.
And China also had to go through a phase where they had to like take inspiration from what's already been established and then recreate it here for themselves. So I don't look at that as anything shameful. I feel like it's
not shameful. It's actually a very good way.
Yeah. So like we had big like automobile companies, like everybody was basically building in China from this point going on. I mean, I think the only person who didn't like agree to that was Elon Musk. I think it was the first person to ever do that in the history of China, to negotiate that like they want to be fully in charge of manufacturing. They want to have like, and they want to have like large shares of, because like they were bringing a technology that was new, and I feel like they were able to get the Chinese government to agree to that. So basically, just made me realize that like these, I mean, after the states moved into capitalism, Chinese manufacturing helped them scale up their capitalist industry. Like they were producing more things, selling more things, and then they grew to where they are now. These big companies, trillion-dollar companies, grew off the backs of like Chinese manufacturing. So we in our developing countries can also think of creating businesses where we are leveraging on these same resources, these same manufacturing capabilities and things, and just move from just like buying things and selling, because that has a ceiling. But like creating your own things doesn't really have a ceiling, because then you get to a point where you're creating your own things from China, then now you get to a point where you can now create your own things in Ghana. And we improve our economy. So it was from this perspective that I felt like thinking this way, you can create multiple businesses, like not only mine, but I can help people create their businesses and then have these 100 businesses minimum actually established.
Wow. I mean, that brings my mind to, I mean, like you're saying, so Africa, or let's say Ghana, is in a state where we are more buying than manufacturing. Would rather go out, buy, like what you said, you got tired of the whole sourcing, trade, whatever. Like, I'm just, you being a Ghanaian, coming from that background, where we are mostly consumers, to a country that's like the world's factory. What do you think the African or the Ghanaian side can do to sort of eventually bridge that gap? Because I've also had people who are like, oh, you know, when we talk about Chinese products, and say, oh, we should also promote made in Ghana goods. But how many people make stuff in Ghana? So
Exactly.
Then for me, I'm like, okay, how do we also chart a path like China did to also become manufacturers of our own?
I don't know if you realize this, but like in Ghana especially, whenever people start businesses, it's usually the main focus is like their immediate communities or like their immediate surroundings. And I did like a little research recently, and I realized that like over 92% of businesses in Ghana are registered as SMEs, or small or medium scaled enterprises. And a bigger majority of businesses in Ghana are actually not registered or are termed like in the informal sector. And I feel like this sort of like affects the scale of how we think the business should go. Because, you know, when you're a small business, the business entirely runs on you. So if you are not there, the business can't grow. The growth of the business, the vision of the business is all like centered around one individual. And like, again, like you were saying, we don't manufacture anything in Ghana. We import everything.
Well, I mean, we manufacture a few.
okay, majority of like what we, because bro, I realized there's a point I saw we even import toothpaste.
Oh yes,
exactly. So and so like it just makes me realize that like there's a large scale of like products that people can think of starting businesses in, where like you're not basically thinking of, for instance, like Elikem does. Like I saw Mills do something which was something that I feel like is in line with what I've been thinking about and all these days. So like I saw he launched his
TV antenna,
surge
protector,
because he deals in consumer electronics, right?
Yeah.
So that's the reasoning. Because in product development, I feel like there are 4 steps. You first start sourcing products. You buy, maybe you sell consumer electronics, so you buy consumer electronics, you buy things, and then the next step is white labeling, where you pick a product, a generic product, you put your brand on it just to make it look like yours.
Yeah.
So then he has this, let's say the generic TV antenna, and he puts his changes the packaging, puts everyday items, and now it's an everyday items product.
Right.
And so now this same, let's say TV antenna, now maybe he wants to add a little bit more customization to make it more everyday items. He can maybe now do them in a specific color or a specific design.
Yeah.
It's the same antenna, but he changed something small. That's what they call original design manufacturing. So then you alter a bit of the design. ODM, yes. And then you alter a bit of the design, and now it's looking more like your own thing. And then the final stage, now he realizes that, okay, Ghana, if we have some X-shaped TV antenna, it will make sense more, it will work more.
Right.
At this point, everyday items antenna brand is already known, the business has already scaled. And so now we find a factory, you show them your designs, they implement it, and now you scaled to the ultimate form of a product where you have something that is ultimately yours fully. And so you take this product, and now it's your own IP, your own products, nobody can recreate,
and
you sell it. Right now, a couple of years ago, the African continent actually came to an agreement. They call it the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA, which opens up a $3.5 trillion market, where basically countries within the agreement thing can trade within each other tariff free. So I feel now then you're realizing that, okay, your market is not only Accra, or it's not only your hood, it's Accra, it's Ghana, it's Togo, it's Benin, it's Burkina Faso, it's Africa.
Right.
And then now you realize that the scale of the business is bigger. So then you're not thinking in the SME way, you're thinking in the scalable way. You're having a business, you're having a full business where there's a board, you're thinking strategically. And that's imagine if we have many businesses like that. But whenever people create brands, it's quite limited.
Small. We start
caps,
small.
Clothing, it's the same things. Bikini, lip gloss.
We like trends.
And so but you don't realize that you can create your own brand of even a phone. You can create your own brand of literally anything, and that's what China provides. Because America has gotten to the point where they realize that, okay, this kind of business model is hurting us, so now we are trying to make America great again. We are going back.
Right.
But we don't have that luxury. And we provide a bigger market for the Chinese. So it's a win-win. That's why you realize that right now there are so many Chinese people going to Ghana to supply products directly, because they realize that everybody's coming here, they are buying these things. They are buying these things. So they need trade. They trade, they don't create anything. So let's just bring the things there.
Right.
But if now people are buying more, they're not just buying TV antennas, but they're buying more everyday items, TV antennas. Then the Chinese person doesn't really cut this thing, because then there's a local brand, there's a business in Ghana that has the IP, that has this thing, and then
I feel more Ghanaians will buy made in Ghana brands when the made in Ghana brands are giving them the quality and the customization they need, what they need. Like what you're saying, we'd rather buy it from everyday items than buy it from a generic Chinese.
Because there was a time when my dad also sells consumer electronics. He's been doing that since I was a kid. That's his business he's been doing. He has a shop in Accra. But you see, as a typical Ghanaian, his business has not moved past the confines of Accra, because Accra he's comfortable with school. He has his shop. People are just coming every day.
Today, he can take care of his family.
And he's good. But there was something he kept telling me when I was growing up. It was there was a time when he had an idea to create his brand of electric bulbs. And so he wanted to do it with a friend. But the friend was not really, he might not really there at that time. So then it sort of affected the idea. Then it never happened. And so it's something that he's always had in mind that it pay now. But even from that idea, that idea was also quite limited because for what he was just trying to do was like now have his own type of light bulb that he can stock up in his shop and make a name for it. That everybody who comes to Accra knows that
this is the light bulb.
Light needs. But it just ends there. Not about like creating his own type of light bulb or anything. So it just ends there. So customization, people do customization in Ghana, but it always ends at that point where. So it got to a point up until recently when people come to like my dad's shop and things in Accra, they don't like Chinese products.
Right.
They want India. So people come to buy like fans, ceiling fans. Oh, medium Indian brand.
Oh.
I want Indian brand. They don't want Chinese brands, but now it's changing.
Yeah.
People are buying Chinese brands. People are trusting China more.
Yeah.
People are coming to China. People are being exposed to China more. People are realizing that they're made in India. It's made in China. Like,
wow.
The made in India is made in China. And so it's more about, I feel like it's more about, that's what I kept saying, it's about the mindset. It's about being exposed to the right set of information. Because
you know how I feel? I feel like Benjie's attacking me. Like I feel challenged. I mean, I know this aspect, right? But I've never looked at it, even in terms of my personal business and how we should scale. So I think this is even a wake up call to other business owners that we need to think bigger. It's like you said, it's in the mind. Because we are thinking, because something like your father's business has been successful enough to raise all your brothers and sisters and all of you, build a house, and I think it's like we think that that's okay.
Yeah.
But we have products which can actually scale globally. We have products which can cover the whole of Africa. So why don't we do that?
Exactly. And so another thing is Ghanaians, sorry to say this, but like we are not really, because of our SME thinking and our very localized thinking, we are not really open-minded for collaboration. Because for you to build a scalable business, you can't do that.
You can't do it alone.
You need to partner with people. I've worked on businesses with people, and like the business relationship has like gone so sour because of the lack of like the collaborative mindset. Because maybe you have capital, maybe you have ideas, maybe you have, because for you to build a business, they say you need leverage, right? And leverage comes in 4 forms. So you have capital, cash. We have content, which is like video, content. We have labor or people, like human workforce, manpower. And then the last is code, if maybe your business is like tech related. But these are the kinds of leverages you have to build a business. And most of the time, if you really narrow down on just one, you create a ceiling for yourself. Because let's say you are selling phone cases because you have capital, you can import a lot of them. The scale is that maybe you start selling by yourself, but then now you're able to supply to people.
Right.
But then, so you're moving from an importer to retail to now an importer to wholesale. And then, but there's a ceiling because then someone also would have cash. And you see that, this person, they sell, if I put more money, I can't afford it. And so it creates a ceiling. But if you've built your business based on the brand and then people identify with your brand and they buy your stuff because they like your brand, you can't really steal that. You can't really take that away. And so it's about collaboration. Like you come together with people. That's what I'm trying to build with Sino Supply, where partner with entrepreneurs, people who build businesses, people who have businesses, who want to scale. You have a product, we can move it from just sourcing. Maybe you have an idea of a product, you can find a similar product like that here and start sourcing. Now start working towards building your brand, because we've opened a foreign trade branch of the company, which I'm heading, and he's willing to, because I've been very open about like my passion with him, and he's open to like support Chinese in terms of capital and stuff, because I told him about Chinese people even coming to Ghana to now like take out the product sourcing people, take out the
middleman,
and then bring the middleman and just bring the products directly to the clients. But I feel like that hurts the average Ghanaian businessman. So take for instance my dad, right? He buys locally from people who are brought to China to sell. But now let's say China Mall it's now bringing
all the
everything here.
Right.
Someone who sells things that people buy can get at China more is going to lose business, and so you're taking bread out of the mouth of the average Ghanaian person, which I feel is unfair, because then it doesn't strengthen our economy, it doesn't build our country. But the way we can build our country, take Ghana, take Africa to the next level, is to empower Ghanaians.
Right.
So we are collaborating in terms of like partnering. If in terms capital, if maybe capital is not sufficient, because we are trying to build businesses that last, not like just one-time sourcing, something that we can build sustainable markets on, something that we can scale, and from that perspective. So that's the angle we are trying to go with Sino Supply now.
I mean, I think I'm getting carried away, and I'm enjoying the conversation so much. We're out of time 15 minutes ago, but it's been such a good conversation, Benjie, and I mean, you've opened my mind. I'm sure you opened the mind of watchers, viewers on matters like this. And we should have a part 2. I don't have a part 2, but the part 2 we'll come to China again, and we'll come to Hangzhou. We'll have a part 2 of this conversation. Right. But let's do final words. We want to know where we can reach you, and let's say someone wants to do business, wants to do work with Sino Supply, your socials, all of that. You can give us your socials, and then.
Okay, so Benjie Mens on all platforms for my personal, for my personal, and Sino Supply, SINOSPLY, on all platforms as well. Benjie Mens is BENJIEMENS on all platforms, Snap, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere. Benjie Mens and Sino Supply.
All right.
And before we end, I'm sure there are people watching, like, because now there are lots of students who study Chinese and all that in Ghana, and who would also want to migrate, not migrate per se, but also like want to come and study, and I don't know what you have to say to that.
Yeah, there's numerous of opportunities for people to come to China to study the language. I feel like if anyone who has like the interest of coming to China and is really serious, you can start in Ghana. You don't need to wait to come to China, because the Confucius Institute in Legon is crazy. Like when you're in the class there, you feel like you're in China. Because when I was in China, I was in school here before going there. So it felt so China. Like the teachers are Chinese. Even the seating arrangements are according to how it is in China. You start there, and then from there, they can even help you apply to schools here in China and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And
can anybody who needs help with that contact you?
Yes, definitely. I'll be very happy to help.
Same socials. If you want to do something like that, you can contact Benjie.
I'll be very happy to help.
And that's all we have time for this week. So, I mean, we are in China, so the next couple of episodes are going to be here. Stay tuned. Watch. It's been such a good conversation, from school to markets to, Chale, taking Ghana to the next level. And also, we are opening slots for the next edition of the China Business Tour. If you're interested, you can send us a DM on China Business Tour on Chale Ni Hao, and then we'll get you here. We're going to be showing you so much behind the scenes content on all these platforms. So just stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.
Straight.
Peace.